The hantavirus was a contributing factor in the death of Gene Hackman's wife. So what is it and how do you get infected?
So hantavirus is a family of viruses that infect rodents, so rats and mice. You get infected usually by breathing dust that has been contaminated by rodent droppings or urine. I think I need to emphasize this is exceedingly rare. There have been fewer than 900 cases over 30 years in the United States. Now, we know there have been at least 3 deaths related to this particular cluster. As we said, 2 people airlifted, at least 1 person in the ICU in South Africa. And there are additional people who are currently being tested.
So it spreads from person to person?
Well, rarely. So there's a particular form of hantavirus called Andes virus, which spreads in Argentina and Chile. And so this cruise ship took off from Argentina, which is why we're wondering, is it the usual kind or is it a kind that can be transmitted person to person? Now, the biggest outbreak of that was in 2018 in Argentina, involving 34 cases. 11 people died, so it's quite a high case fatality rate. But I think it's important, again, to emphasize that this is a virus that requires prolonged close contact. This is not a pandemic kind of virus.
How can you protect yourself from it?
So cleaning. If you're going to be cleaning droppings, other kinds of things related to rodent contamination, you want to have a respirator, gloves. You don't want to be sweeping or vacuuming because that can kick up the dust. Use watered down bleach to help it settle. They're also going to have to investigate the cruise ship. What's the source? Who, getting the testing done? How was it transmitted? And this is really the work of public health agencies like the CDC that's been gutted, and we've pulled out of WHO. So we're a little bit, caught flat-footed here.
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families, with lives.
Jake Rossmarin is one of 150 passengers, including more than a dozen Americans stuck on board the MV Hondias cruise ship. This morning, the World Health Organization said the ship will continue to Spain's Canary Islands after 2 passengers with the dangerous hantavirus are medically evacuated. The cruise ship is currently off the coast of the West African nation of Cape Verde.
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
7 passengers are believed to have gotten hantavirus. 3 have died, and 1 person who is critically ill has already been hospitalized. The cruise set sail from Argentina more than 4 weeks ago on a journey to remote locations, including a visit to Antarctica. But the suspected hantavirus outbreak, which is typically spread through contact with rodents, has left them stranded.
They were doing, a lot of things with wildlife. So our assumption is they were infected off the boat. And then joined the cruise.
I feel kind of bad for those people on that cruise ship with the hantavirus because I'm sorry, that's just where y'all live now. We actually can't risk you guys coming back into society. We don't have the people in charge and the things in place to handle another pandemic, another panoramic, another Panama, another panhandle, another Pandulce, another planetary. That ain't gonna work. But you get what I'm saying. And I understand it's a big ask. It's a huge ask, honestly, to ask someone to give up their lives as they know it. But for the fate of the world, the universe, for the good of everyone, I just need y'all to hang tight for the foreseeable future. And I understand you may not want to live out the rest of your life on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. So maybe, if you don't want to do that, maybe y'all could just find an iceberg and that'll...
They're going to have to stay on that boat. They've already gotten off. There was a deadly hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship off the coast of Africa, and people are saying we got to quarantine that boat, and I need you all to understand people have already gotten off the boat. This was a cruise ship traveling from the coast of South America to the coast of Africa, and on that journey they stopped on several islands where people got off the boat, they experienced excursions, and then they got back on the boat. They did not immediately realize that the virus outbreak on the cruise ship was the hantavirus. And there's a lot of different reasons for this. 1, hantavirus is rare, but 2, it originally presents like the flu. Fever, fatigue, body aches. And then people get pulmonary issues and they die. And generally, this virus is only transferred through rat droppings. But there is a case of it being transferred from human to human contact in Argentina. Guess where this boat originated? Argentina. So understandably, people are concerned about this cruise ship, but please understand people have already gotten off the boat and they're doing contact tracing with anyone who could have come into contact with this virus. But you should be hearing the saxophones playing right now, because if this is the type of virus that spreads person to person through the air, we need to have lockdowns and people need to be masking and people need to be taking this seriously, because hantavirus is incredibly deadly, more deadly than COVID, and we could be in serious trouble. And I don't say that to fearmonger, because we don't know what we're dealing with yet, but we could be dealing with something very serious.
Beg your motherfucking pardon. What do you mean 40% death rate, airborne rodent disease that killed 4 people on the goddamn cruise ship, and you going to tell me that they're trying to figure out what to do? Bitch, you're not coming home is what you're not going to do. That's what I'm hearing. You're not coming home. Because what do you mean that there's a 40% death rate? I'm going to break this down for all of y'all. Sink that motherfucking ship and or take them bitches to a random island and allow them to have the Lord of the Flies, because you're not coming home. COVID did it. Ebola did it. We already going through stuff, mama. You know, you see the economy, you see the job market, you see what we going through, and you think you going to sit there and tell me to my motherfucking face that there's a 40% death rate on a hantavirus with a boat that already killed 4 people on that? Bitch, you think you coming home? You're not coming home. I'm sorry to your family members. I'm sorry to say your goodbyes and just set sail for the rest of your days. You get to live free on the sea, away from motherfucking me.
This hantavirus thing is already out of hand, okay? The first person to pass away was a man with his wife on the cruise ship. On April 25th, she flew with his body after he passed away with this from St. Helena all the way to Johannesburg in South Africa. She started getting very bad symptoms and deteriorating on the flight back to Johannesburg. Collapsed in the airport, passed away the next day. They test her body, she has hantavirus. Who doesn't know if it's the Andes hantavirus that passes from person to person yet? They assume it is. Now, who is extensively trying to contact trace the 82 passengers that were on the same exact flight with her from St. Helena to Johannesburg? And the Andes virus is a little different than COVID. This is what they say anyway, that you don't get it just from casual contact, which would be if you sneeze, if you're in the same room. You got to get really close contact, so like kissing each other, things like that. But the thing here is, I'm assuming that they would not let her leave with her husband's body if she was having symptoms. In the incubation period between hantavirus is, some say 1 to 8 weeks, and then WHO says 1 to 6 weeks. So I don't think she even had symptoms before she was evacuated with her husband's body. To make matters worse, FIFA World Cup is in less than a month. Kansas City is hosting the Argentinian football team at their base. And there is going to be so many people from around the world, potentially from that area, coming to the FIFA World Cup. Just don't go. Just don't go. I would much rather people fearmonger over this than not fearmonger over this, because the mortality rate with this is 40%. 4 in 10 people pass away from the hantavirus. And there's no vaccine either. So, just don't go. I would not travel to South America right now, specifically Argentina. I would wait it out, see what happens, because this is already out of hand.
Well, here's an update on the hantavirus outbreak situation. So the cruise ship been on seas in the middle of the ocean for a long time. So now they're getting ready to dock it, and they're gonna dock it at Spain. No bitch should come in. No bitch is coming in or out of Spain. Bitch, dead homies. Bitch, cancel all flights. All flights. No bitch in or out of Spain. If you in Spain, stay in there, bitch. That, I swear to God, I'm so serious. Y'all playing. Y'all really playing with y'all. Y'all was letting them people on that ship play with that virus. I don't give a fuck. You telling me miraculously there's a rodent in the middle of the ocean on a cruise ship and now everybody's sick? Yeah, beats me. I don't believe shit y'all bitches is telling me, for real. Because the last virus that they had, y'all bitches was making that shit on EpiPen Island. I don't believe shit you bitches is talking about on the dead homies. Fuck that bitch at Spain, and I don't want no bitches coming in or out of Spain. Seriously. It's that serious. Because if you leave it up to me, I'm going to tell you to sink that motherfucker. Oh, well, that's you bitches' problem. You bitches' problem. I don't want to hear none of that morality shit. It's them or us. Which one do you want it to be?